Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming. We're so happy to see you. We're thrilled, in fact.
Thank you for being here, and thank you to the Summer Academy and our wonderful collaborators who are fluffing the audience here tonight.
And delighting our eyes.
Yes.
And again, if someone needs a cuddle, I would highly recommend a cuddle over there in the little cuddle pile.
Yes.
Or some wonderful grapes. We've got grapes. We've got all kinds of things here to scintillate you.
We're trying to
tickle your
stimulate your
imagination.
senses.
Yes.
We're going to share a bit about our life and work tonight, and we are the Ecosexuals. I'm Annie Sprinkle.
And I'm Beth Stephens.
And we have some images of our work and then some video clips we're going to share, but y'all can carry on as you like. This is...
Well, and first, we just want to really thank the Summer Academy for inviting us here and for curating such an amazing group of collaborators as our class. We've only had two classes, and we're already doing performance art. So we should give our class a big hand already, you know?
Beautiful.
Amazing. They're amazing. Amazing artists.
Yeah. Good job. Lovely, lovely. So make yourselves comfortable if you can. First slide.
There's still a couple of seats up here, and yeah, just make yourselves comfortable. There are drinks in the back if you want some drinks, and
Let's go.
let's go. Okay. Uh-oh, did I go the wrong way? Ah. So we're going to start with 25 ways to make love to the earth. And, right.
25
ways to make love to the earth. Number 1, tell the earth I love you and I can't live without you.
2, you may...
Oh, can we turn this music down just a little bit? Perfect.
2, at first you might be embarrassed to be lovers with the earth. Relax, let that shit go.
3, spend time with her.
Ask her what she likes, wants, and needs, and try to give it to her.
Massage the earth with your feet.
Admire her views often.
Circulate erotic energy with her.
Smell him,
Taste her.
touch him all over.
Hug and stroke his trees.
Talk dirty to her plants.
Swim naked in their waters.
Lay on top of her, let her get on top of you.
Do a nude dance for her.
Sing to her.
Kiss and lick him.
Bury parts of your body deep inside their soil.
Plant your seeds in it.
Love her unconditionally, even when she's angry or cruel. And the earth can be a cruel mistress, and there is no safe word.
Keep them clean. Please recycle.
Work for peace. Bombs really hurt.
And if you see them being raped or abused, protect them as best you can.
Protect their mountains, waters, and skies. Vow to love, honor, and cherish the earth until death brings us closer together forever.
So, Annie and I have been together for 21 years. And the way that I met her, there are a lot of anniversaries and birthday parties and things tonight. You're in for a treat.
Oh.
But anyhow, the way that I met her is I was a young student in school, and I wanted to make a piece about the lesbian gays. So I asked her to come be in a photo shoot with me. And she did. And I recreated this kind of new age biker sort of photography, right? And this was one of the pieces that we made for our I called it sex magic, because this was 10 years before we even started seeing each other, but I was already spinning the web of love. So I would recommend, if there are any students in here, to just find the person you really admire and ask them to pose for you. It's a very old artist trick. So come to my studio, please.
So we knew each other about 10 years, and then we ran into each other at a poetry reading, and we ended up having 3 days of sex on our first date. It was very passionate. And
Well, actually, one day in the middle, Annie had therapy, so she invited me to go to therapy with her, and I did.
We had couples therapy on our first date.
It really helped.
Well, Beth was a professor at UC Santa Cruz and got benefits for domestic partnership, which we weren't allowed to get married back then legally, but we could be domestic partners, and I could get her health insurance. And I was, a freelance artist all my life. I didn't have health insurance, so we became domestic partners at this big City Hall domestic partner ceremony with 33 couples. And while we were there, the news was there, and we talked about the war in Afghanistan, and we said we need to learn how to communicate and get along, so we're going to take the leap and get domestic partnered and make a commitment to get along. And
we did.
Her family in West Virginia saw it on the news.
All the way across the country.
We're like, these weddings are a great platform for political activism.
I know, they really were, because, everyone loves a wedding, right?
So Linda Montano, a seminal performance artist, has been my mentor. She taught me that life is art, and that's what we're doing tonight, life is art. And she was doing a 7-year piece where she devoted a year to a specific theme and color. How many know Linda Montano's work?
Wow. Well, we need to have Linda Montano come here. And
She's my favorite artist in the world.
She's amazing, yes.
So she did this for 7 years. Go.
And after she did it 7 years, after she did it 14 years, in the 21st year of her project, she invited other artists to join her. So we were already making art about love, and we decided to join Linda's piece to make art about love for 7 years. And each year would be a different color, and she was basing this on the chakras. So, the different colors of the chakras, the 7 years of the chakras. And so we had a piece about love, a piece about 7 years.
And we decided to do a wedding every year for 7 years. So we started out with the red wedding. And this was right after the World Trade Tower situation. And Jeff Hendricks, who was Beth's professor.
Who has taught at the Academy many times.
Fluxus
He's no longer
artist.
with us on this plane.
Fluxus artist married us with his dirty altar boy. We made a commitment for 7 years to do love and art together, thinking it wouldn't last maybe a year or
7 minutes.
We'd make the breakup part of the piece, but it didn't happen. Instead,
5 years later, when we were in our green chakra, or 4 years later, it was in 2008, we had 3 weddings to each other, 3 of these group weddings, and we thought this is really getting self-serving to just continue marrying each other. It was boring. So we decided we needed to do something. It was fun, but it was, it was just
selfish.
It was self-involved, right?
Yeah.
And so we thought, wow, who really needs the rights and privileges of marriage? And of course, this was when the big battle in the United States over same-sex marriage was happening. But we thought, as a species, humans are doing just fine. I mean, we're out of control, right? We're just like 8 billion people now, okay? So who really needs the rights and privileges of a wedding, of marriage? We thought the earth does. And so we married the earth, and we had a huge wedding.
People.
400 people.
Guillermo Gomez Peña, the Chicano artist, was our officiant, and 400 people took the vows to love, honor, and cherish the earth with us, and we asked for no material gifts, but we invited people to create the wedding. 150 people co-created the wedding, because everyone knows the narrative of wedding, and we had a program, and we counted them, and so everybody got to collaborate, and we felt like this was a step towards getting along with each other and learning how to create art together more instead of being solo artists.
And so our weddings always were collaborations with people that helped make the wedding, the people that came to the wedding, the institutions that hosted the wedding. And they always consisted of artists, sex workers, and a lot of times in this wedding, a lot of my students participated because this was at UC Santa Cruz where I teach. And, so they're these really kind of multi-dimensional events.
Very diverse, we hope.
Yeah.
And
our goal is to make the environmental movement more sexy, fun, and diverse, because it can be pretty boring and pretty beige, lots of Birkenstocks and things. So we're trying to sex it up. See,
like
this is a prime example of a sexy ecosexual, right? Woo-hoo-hoo, yeah, yeah. You got to keep people interested,
And we love, people are the earth too. And
yes,
so
we are. We're made of calcium and stardust and iron. And after we had that wedding, we woke up the next morning and we were like, oh my God, what are we now, right? We didn't even know. We couldn't really say we were lesbians. And, we couldn't really say, I don't know what. We couldn't say that much. So we thought, we must be ecosexuals now, right?
So this was a term that was floating around. It was a dating term. It was just new, but we decided let's try it on, see what happens when we call ourselves ecosexuals. So we developed the definition to include a manifesto. We started the ecosex movement. We claimed a movement, and it's really grown now.
And we have a few versions of this. This was the version that Guillermo Gomez Peña helped us write. And he is also an amazing artist, and you all should get to meet him sometime. But this manifesto has been translated into about 12 different languages, and it has circulated all around the world. It's been printed and built, on the sides of buildings, in books and magazines. It's traveled. So these are some examples of the weddings that we've done since. And how many weddings have we done, honey?
We did 21 big weddings like this to different nature entities in 9 countries. This is to snow, and yeah. Can we turn it up? Well,
yeah, we can turn the sound up a little now.
Although the variety may seem endless, the loss of even one is indeed a great loss.
we didn't know anybody when we got there, except maybe a couple people. But we made this wedding with an hour rehearsal.
We got tattoos of snowflakes.
We consummated the wedding with icicles.
And we do the traditional wedding. We throw the bouquet, we have the kiss, we have the cake.
Okay, we can turn it up again. This one we had a workshop for about a week, so people worked on their parts of the wedding, and this one was very punk rock. Diana Terrorista organized it.
That's Diana right there.
Where?
So we did this in Gijón, which is a coal mining country. It's part of the coal mining part of Spain, and I'm from a coal mining part of the United States. And so for me, this was a really important wedding.
So once you marry these things, you really feel connected, like in a way that's very deep. So being a city girl, growing up in cities, living in cities, I felt disconnected from nature. So in time, I was able to feel more connected. Hey, come on up. There's places to sit up here. There's some empty chairs and a few places. So we're going to show you one more, which we did in Austria. We could turn this up.
Oh, these people in here, they're gonna marry like dirt. Dirt is the shit. Dirt is the shit.
That's Peaches, the rock star Peaches.
Touched by the earth, and I touched the earth.
We now pronounce you married to the soil.
A.A. Bronson. Woo! This
was
was
May
it was
Day.
May Day,
May
so
Day.
we did a maypole,
We're very traditional.
and we got dirty. Okay, we can stop this one.
Right, okay, now we're speeding up here. This is where we live in San Francisco. We married the sun. And so a lot of times we have ephemera, like you can imagine, we have ephemera left over after these events. And we often will show these things in exhibitions. We send out formal wedding invitations that we mail out, and we have RSVP cards that people mail back so we know who's coming. And we also show some of the things that other people have made for the weddings.
And they're always free events, so we produce them, or some artwork produces them.
So so remember, we're following the chakras, right? And the first year is the red year, and it's the chakra of security and survival. So during that year,
We get breast cancer, so we decided to make it one of our art projects. And I had found a little lump in my breast and had to do chemo and radiation and
get a lumpectomy.
lumpectomies.
Yeah.
And we would dress up in costumes for chemotherapy, and we made it fun and interesting, and we photographed it, and we made collages, and we made this. That was the chemo fashion show.
And this is chemo erotica, this is probably first cancer erotica that's ever been shown. It was shown in a porn magazine called On Our Backs.
It was when
or
I
Off
lost
Our Backs.
I lost my hair.
So we
and
did a
We were
ritual.
bald, and we made a theater piece about it at the same time. So we stayed bald for a whole year while we toured the theater piece about breast cancer.
And these were the medical images, the scans of Annie's breasts.
Collages. So these are my old porn and pinup photos mixed with the cancer erotica and photo of the lump. And these were my radiation treatment plans. And in the chemo fashion show, we made some big collages, and they showed in many different places, Japan, and they were in When the Sick Rules the World. Was that in Austria?
I think so.
I
Did
don't
any
know.
of you see the show When the Sick Rules the World?
It was
Well, it
good.
was in Europe somewhere.
We-
We also were invited to come to Poland to show the cancer. So the images that we did for the chemo fashion show, there are multiple images, and we were invited to come show them in the Photoplasticon, which was in Krakow. And it was like a peep show with these cancer images. And so people would look into this photo. Have any of you seen the Photoplasticon? It's kind of amazing.
It's made in the 1930s.
Yeah. It's a sort of wonderful view, and it was like a reverse peep show. Anyhow, we thought that was,
And the photos were all in 3D.
yeah.
So that was our Poland thing. So a little bit about what who here identifies as ecosexual? Anybody?
Oh, our students, our collaborators.
Collaborators, a
Is
few.
that no one
We
else?
know that
No one else thinks
they
of
do.
themselves as an ecosexual. Oh,
Wow.
Wow,
Look at
yeah.
that. That is ecosexual. Wild.
Well, you know, when we first ran into this term, you know, we were like sort of doing research after this wedding when we woke up and we didn't know what we were. So we found it, and you know, it was a dating term, sort of like metrosexual, a person that found nature sort of sensual and sexy. And we thought, we need to run with this. So we thought, wow, we're gonna like try to turn this into a new sexual identity, because we were outgrowing the other sexual identities. I mean, that's really the truth.
Where's Uli? Uli, we've got to get some photos for our
Uli's
exhibition.
taking photos, honey.
Where
He is up there photographing.
He is. Okay, this
photographing
is Uli,
away.
Our wonderful collaborator assistant, Uli. Thank you, Uli.
Yeah.
Good, okay.
And then we decided that we could actually sort of make this identity, this new identity, into an environmental activist strategy. Because when we had the wedding, at the same time in the state of West Virginia where I'm from, there was a thing called mountaintop removal that was happening. And mountaintop removal is a coal mining technique where they blow the top of the mountain out just to get the very last, very thin remaining veins of coal. And we made a film about it, and Annie's telling me to hurry up. But anyhow, we thought, okay, we can make this into an environmental activist strategy. And it was mountaintop removal that, kind of inspired that. And we thought also, wow, this could be a new movement, because there wasn't anything like this. I mean, environmentalism,
Well, radical fairies. There were the radical fairies.
Yeah,
They were...
but that was for men mostly,
Yeah,
And so anyhow.
Fairies, queer men, yeah. There were some predecessors, but we were inspired by...
We were off-roading, as they say.
Yeah.
So anyhow, you see what it is. I hate when people read slides in these slideshows. So we also were thinking that, is the Earth really only female?
A lot of people imagine the Earth is female, right? Which is lovely. They imagine the Earth is a mother, and the Earth does nurture and feed us and keep us alive and take care of us. But also, why couldn't the Earth be trans? Why couldn't it be all genders? And so, we used imagination and fantasy as part of our ecosexual practice. And
We have a practice sometime. I don't know if we're going to get to this, but we sometimes have a thing called grassolingus, so watch out over there.
Yeah.
We also have the Sprinkle-Stevens scale, which is, to determine how ecosexual you might be, right? So
you might just be eco-sensual. You're not, the sexual part doesn't interest you, but maybe the sensual part. Or you might not be, you can actually be asexual and ecosexual at the same time.
Or you can just be a little bit ecosexual, or maybe half ecosexual
or
and something else.
Eco-romantic, even. Oh, this is
I'm beyond that now.
This is our old chart, Beth.
This is the old one?
Yeah, we have updated
Well,
this.
you could be predominantly ecosexual, or you could be extremely ecosexual. I'm not going to point the finger at anyone, but you know what I'm saying, right? And then we have more numbers that go out on the new charts, you know what I mean? So you can just sort of think about this and look into your heart and see what you feel.
And no pressure. No
pressure.
No one has to identify. We're not trying to
The thing about our
convert you.
movement, our ecosexual movement, is you can maintain whatever other sexualities you want. You can be like metrosexual, heterosexual, bisexual, polyamorous, whatever.
It's great.
And still be an ecosexual, because it's a big umbrella.
And you always have a lover. When the Earth is your lover, you're never alone. You always have love from the sky, the trees.
The gravity. The gravity will always hold us.
So I'm from the sex industry and got my PhD in human sexuality. I'm very interested in sex research. I've been doing it 50 years. And so I learned a bit about, making charts and graphs and statistics, and we made this chart about nature fetishes, and we, decided to explore nature, earth. There's earth fetishes, air, pyrophilia, aerophilia. You might be mud baths, for example.
Yeah, how many people like to have their toes in the mud? Anybody? Oh, good.
Just one?
Yeah, okay.
2, 3.
Okay, some people.
5.
How many people like to go skinny dipping? How many of you love sunbathing on the beach? That's like a twofer, because it's water and sun. So that's a...
And rubbing sand.
Hot aquaphiliac.
Feeling those sun rays penetrate your pores.
It's really
Nice.
sexy, right?
Oh my goodness.
How many of you like riding motorcycles and feeling the wind on your face? We call that a wind bath. Yeah, anyone? No motorcycle rider? Okay, yes, okay. Admit it.
Maybe you like a gentle breeze through your hair.
Maybe you like the waves of the ocean giving you a good spank on the little behind. Whoa, whoa, okay. Oh, we might have some budding
Doggy
ecosexuals
position.
in here, honey. Yeah. So anyhow, you can look at this chart and find yourself in some of your practices of things you might like to do or things you might want to do.
We actually have a book. We didn't even
You
bring
can practice all of these at home.
But what about consent?
What about consent?
Some people they're fine with their neighbor killing a tree or two or three
Or a whole
chopping down a
forest.
forest. But God forbid you hug a tree.
And people often ask us when we do hug trees, because we're big tree huggers, of course,
I
right?
like to hug trees.
When we hug trees, people say to us, "Do you ask consent from the tree?" And we're like, "Well, we
Yes.
try to put our forehead
We
against
try.
the tree to sense what the tree might be telling us. And if a branch falls on us, because we have a house in the redwoods, and we get cars crushed up there by branches, right? So far, no branches have crushed us. But we try to co-sense with these trees, right? We try to co-sense what might be appropriate or inappropriate.
If there's
you know?
poison ivy around the tree, it probably doesn't want to be hugged. Unless you like, I don't know.
Itchy sex.
They
Some people
probably
like
don't.
poison ivy.
But we try to ask consent, but and we feel we connect. We sense if something wants to connect. Like the sky, for example. Anyway, next.
So we've done theater pieces. This was a piece we did in Vienna,
The Cosmos,
the Cosmos
Theater. Photos by,
Oh, why'd you have to say that?
oh gosh.
By a
She's
really great
photographer.
Austrian photographer.
At the Cosmos, anyway.
Yes.
So, but we were doing theater inside, pretending like we were outside. So we were using electricity and we were bringing soil to.
Honey, I hate to tell you, we're using electricity right now.
I know, but after this, we developed some work that we went
We're
outside.
eco-sinners. We will admit that we are not perfect ecosexuals. We are also eco-sinners because it's hard in this system to be perfect, right?
So.
But this isn't outside either, honey.
I know. Well, we still do things inside, but we did take a lot of work outside.
Yeah, we'll show you that in a minute.
So this is Documenta 14. How many of you saw Documenta 14? Yeah.
That was fun.
We were very lucky to be invited to be Documenta artists and have an exhibition. We went twice to Greece and twice to Kassel. And we got to do this exhibition in the Noy Gallery.
I hope that ecosexual is asking for consent right there.
Okay. Yes.
This was another piece that we did at Documenta called Cuddle.
And there's some other Documenta artists here
Yes,
with
there are.
us, which we're delighted to be with, people we met there. So we cuddled people. When Trump was building his wall and all the borders were being much more strict and closed, we decided to tear down the borders and get close. So we cuddled people for 3 days for 7 minutes each. And 7 minutes. They
because
could
we
get
were still
between
on
us.
our 7 chakra journey here. So 7 played a really important role in our lives.
So we have a cuddle bed, a little extension of. We always love when people. So after any time, you can go over there and have a cuddle.
I know if this lecture's like not doing it for you, you can really go cuddle right over there. It's really great.
Yeah, look at by these beautiful.
So here's where we took our theater piece outside. This was at Documenta, but we've done a lot of walking tours, which are actually scripted theater pieces for us. And these walking tours, we've done them all over, but I think maybe the biggest one so far has been at Documenta, where something like 200 people would join us for a walking tour.
and we had a team of performance artists with us. And Paul B. Preciado curated us. It was about 150 artists were chosen to be part of this exhibition that's once every 5 years. So it was a real honor.
And the other thing that we like to do are these free sidewalk sex clinics, where we will give sex advice to anyone. And usually we do these outside in public, so it's interesting who comes by to get the sex advice, because I don't know about in Europe, but in the United States, sex education has been virtually shut down, which I think is not a good idea. I think people should be educated about sex and sexuality. And so we usually do these out on the street in cities or, you know, near art galleries or whatever, but we had to move inside because there was a big, huge windstorm. So
we had
went inside.
13 sex workers, because we feel sex workers know a lot about sex, and they aren't appreciated as sex educators. And then we had, 19 people in many different languages we gave sex advice.
And we also give conceptual art sex advice. So we had punk rock sex advice. We had Fluxus sex advice. We had psychedelic sex advice. So, you know, we really are trying to expand what sex and sexuality can be. And we're trying to sort of have fun with it, like we're doing with environmentalism.
Yes.
So this is a trailer to a film that we made together. This was my first feature film, and it was about West Virginia.
You're so cute.
What? I know, he's adorable.
Eco-posing. Oh, God.
Let's see here. How do we get this?
That's some beautiful green grass you got there. Okay, we can turn this up. It's a couple minutes.
It's about 3 minutes.
West Virginia, oh my home. West Virginia's where I belong. In the dead of the night, in the still and the quiet, I
Here we are in the mountains with Annie's purse.
fly back to those hills, the place that I call home.
I don't think you can overstate what's happening.
Coal mining has become a very protracted form of genocide.
If queers don't have water, they're not going to survive.
Global warming is a hoax.
Do you promise to speak out, act up, and raise hell about mountaintop removal?
We do! In the dead of the night, in the still and the quiet, I slip away like a bird in flight back to those hills, the place that I call home. Home.
So I'm a big mountain lover. You know, I love mountains, and it just makes me crazy what they're doing with coal mining. But anyhow.
Wait, that was actually, as far as we know, the first queer environmental movie. We have asked around, and no one can name any documentary film. No one can name any other queer environmental activist documentary. So that might have been the first one. And we made another one called Water Makes Us Wet, which we're screening
Here on
next Tuesday.
Tuesday night? Yes.
Next Tuesday. So same
hopefully
time,
you all come.
same time, same place.
It's about California.
So if you want to see a full feature, we're also going to show 23 one-minute films, Ecosexuals films from around the world. It's called The 1 Minutes, Imagine the Earth as Your Lover.
So this is our book that we just published a year ago or so, 2 years maybe now. And it has an audio version and everything. And then we also do these symposiums where, I mean, I'm a professor, so, you know, I have to engage with the university sometimes. And so we do these kind of anti-symposiums where we bring in our friends who are performance artists, and we really try to talk about the issues that are concerning us, but we talk through film, performance, different kinds of radical theoretical explorations. I'm very lucky to be at a university that I would say is a radical university. I mean, first of all, not many educational institutions would put up with Annie and I. And this university has supported our work from day one, right? They've been really supportive. Second of all, people like Angela Davis, Donna Haraway, Karen Barad, Teresa de la Redes, all these amazing people, Anna Singh, teach at this university. So I've been colleagues with all these people who I really love and adore, and I've learned a lot from them and feel very honored to have been in their presence, right? And so they've allowed us and encouraged us and supported us financially to do these really wild symposiums. And so we have.
We really try to get people from all walks of life and bring different perspectives about the environment and sexuality.
And ecosexuality. So we've actually developed these ideas, in the sort of theoretical framework of the university, as well as artistically and conceptually. And the last symposium, well, no, it wasn't the last one we did, but the one before the last one was about fire. And that's inspired us to, well, actually what happened is we got these grants to make a film about fire, and we decided that instead of traveling all around to talk to experts about fire, we would bring them to us through a symposium. So we had the symposium where they all came to talk about fire, and we also had a wedding where we had two weddings actually to fire. And this is a little trailer of one of those weddings. Oh, we have to explain? What are we explaining?
We have a house in the mountains in Boulder Creek, California, near her university, a little cabin. And we were, it was called the CZU fire. It was a huge fire in the Santa Cruz mountains.
Something like 780 houses burned in our neighborhood.
Like for a month, and they thought the whole town would burn, and indeed 800-something houses burned, buildings. But the fire stopped literally right across, like this far away, and our house didn't burn. But mostly we were worried about our wild white peacock,
who we
that
are
lives
totally
in the
in love
neighborhood.
with.
Everyone, he's 26 years old,
And he's
and
just
we were
gorgeous.
so worried about him. The smoke was terrible. The town was evacuated. And so we were inspired to make a film about fire, because in California and in Greece and in Brazil
And in Spain.
there are these fire problems. So and beautiful things come from fire too. So we decided to make this film, Fire from an Ecosexual Gaze.
So we're putting together a work sample right now, and you're the first people that have seen this. So
And it's not done.
yeah,
but
it's not at all done.
Some of you have seen us speak before, so we wanted to show you something new. So you're the first to see a little teeny tiny 3-minute sample of Playing with Fire, Ecosexuals. What's our subtitle?
Well, it's either Ecosexuals in Heat or Ecosexuals are Hot Mess, or we're not sure what the subtitle is. You could maybe help us choose. Anyhow.
So let's see how it goes. Loud, please. Thank you.
Well, the sound isn't mixed, so maybe it shouldn't be too
Yeah.
loud.
Oh, wow.
Fire is the power of loss and light. It's the kiss of death and the spark of life.
California 2020, summertime, fuego, pasión, and desire. Eternidad, destrucción, uncertainty.
It's Guillermo Gomez Peña.
Hope, rebirth, esperanza, resurrection, purification, fear of burning to death, of suffocation and blindness. The most painful way to die.
Our
they
costumers.
say, fear of losing what we love, of losing our home, of humans and animals dying in the fire, our giant trees eaten up and spit out as piles of ash, fear of having no water, heat wave, heat dome, magma, sun flare, nature's revenge, fear of witch burnings, fear of COVID, the invisible fire, always on the move, faster than we can put it out, fear of otherness, the radical unknown, fear of change, of destruction, of tearing it all down, fear of new symptoms, new systems, fear of letting go con las llamas. I say, abracemos el fuego sagrado de la tierra. Let's embrace the fire, or it will burn us alive.
When the first settlers and colonists came to our land, they saw the native people regularly setting fire to the landscape, and they thought it was devilish, and they called them such.
Can we turn the sound up just a little bit here?
Wildland firefighters make anywhere from $65,000 to $150,000 a year. Now, incarcerated folks do the same exact work and have the same exact work schedules. And while you're incarcerated, I was making $1.50 a day and $1 an hour. So there's a big, large pay gap.
Okay. Now we can take down just a little bit.
Fire is a big part of living here. People are scared. We've been evacuated.
We're not sure that fighting fire all the time is working.
We have to better our relationship with fire.
The help that people gave each other in this town and Boulder Creek, man, it stole my heart. Bam, 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 bam.
So this is where we are now. Thank you. Wow, thank you. Maybe we have a film. Hope for a film.
Wow. Part of the film idea is it's about social fires as well. Social fires.
And environmental fires, which I think are very connected.
And environmental justice.
So we also do a lot of work
Thanks.
with other artists. Yeah, thank you. And we collaborate with a lot of artists and other scholars. And we've been collaborating with a Polish artist named Ewelina Drosch. And Justina, what is Justina's last name? Anyhow, we mostly are collaborating with Ewelina, but Justina's in there too. And they are doing this AI work about, tiny critters called
brine shrimp.
Brine shrimp, yeah. And they, we recently just did this big symposium in New York City, and they came from Poland to do this work about hydrosexuality. And so they've really taken our work and they're really running with it, and it's really kind of great. And what they did is they, were having the brine shrimp sort of appear in these different sorts of messages about hydrosexuality through AR. So they had targets on their bodies that you could read with a phone to kind of create these images that they were projecting up on the screen. And it was really kind of great to see an art historian do a naked performance. She had never done one before. So we thought, wow, this is really brave, that she's out there doing these performances and really kind of impacting this film of hydrosexuality and hydrofeminism.
Manifesto.
Yeah.
They did Hydrofeminist Manifesto, which was projected like it was little sensors on their body. It was cool.
Yeah. You all, I don't quite know how AR works, but it worked great, mostly. And then our friend Reverend Billy, with the Church of Stop Shopping came to our symposium, and he has a choir, and so he sort of bases his work on being a kind of fake evangelical preacher, but he's kind of turned into a real preacher for the earth, right? So their church is sometimes called the Church of Earthalleluia now, and they really like praise the earth, and it's really kind of fun and beautiful, and he does incredible activism. I mean, I think Billy's probably been arrested over 300 times for doing environmental actions. I mean, this guy's really putting his body where his mouth is, you know?
So this was at Performance Space New York, which used to be PS 122, Lower East Side, and we had over 100 artists and friends and collaborators and scholars present over one weekend. But we had this state-of-the-art theater to play with, and it was really satisfying.
We had a performance art orgasm. That's
Yes.
what we had. It was amazing. And our next adventure is going to be at the Buga Garden Festival, and that's why we have these flower outfits.
We're leaving here after we finish our course here. We'll take the train to Mannheim, and there's the Buga Garden Fest. So if anyone who wants to come, we're doing Ecosex walking tours there with this team of performance artists.
We'll teach you how to ask a tree for consent. It's very sexy. And I think that's it.
Is that it? Is
Oh,
there one
no,
more?
wait. No, that's
No,
not
we
it.
have
No,
a
whoa,
song.
whoa, whoa.
We have
Whoa.
a finale.
Okay, so now we have one of two big performative
Moments.
participatory events. Can we have our beautiful collaborators come over here? And you're all going to become our collaborators in just a
If
minute.
you want.
If you want. There's no pressure.
Where's our words? Oh, here's our words. Okay.
Okay.
So we have a song for this end, and then we're going to do a little discussion for a little bit, and then we have another, which Sophie, the director of Summer Academy, is going to moderate, so we can have a little discussion, and then another finale.
And if you feel
number
like
2.
standing up during this, you're very welcome to, because you've all been sitting. Oh, I needed that.
Yeah, if you want to stand up.
I needed that. A little grass fluffing. If you want to stand up, feel free. Okay.
That's nice. That's nice.
Oh, here it
Grass
is.
smells good.
Okay. Are we ready?
This is Yoko Ono, one of our favorite artists, and Anoni, yeah, and a song that we just really like that we taught to our
And we want to
friends.
invite you all to sing with us, okay?
Karaoke.
So we can all sing this together. This is the karaoke portion.
Can it go loud?
And we can make it a little louder. And it's really easy. It's like country music. Okay, you're going to know the words before you know them. Of you, earth, you are beautiful. I love the way you are. I know I never said it to you, but I want to say it now. I love you. I love you. I love you, earth. I love you. I love you. I love you, earth.
I love you,
Earth, you are beautiful. I love the way you shine. I love your valleys. I love your mornings. In fact, I love you every day. I know I never said it to you.
I would never know.
Over blue mountains, over green fields, I want to scream about it now. Ow!
I love
You, I love you, I love you, earth. I love you. Show us your dress. I love you now.
You are
An meeting point of infinity. You are our turning point of eternity. I love you. love you. I love you, Earth. I love you. I love you. I love you now. I love you, Earth. I love you. I love you. I love you now. And I love Yoko Ono, okay?
Hey, Yoko Ono! Give me 5.
Okay, so
High five. So,
wow, you all have been a great audience.
Yeah,
Thank you. And you sing beautifully. Okay, give yourselves a hand. No, wait. We're not
So we're
starting
having a
now.
discussion.
We're having discussion first.
little discussion
Then we have a
for
big surprise for everyone.
10 minutes
A really
or
big
so.
surprise. Yeah, the biggest surprise.
Sophie,
Okay, so
do you all want to sit down? Or
do you all
make yourselves comfy?
Yeah, get comfy
And
if you need to
if you wanna
stretch, if you need
slip
to.
out, thanks
Yes.
for coming.
Yeah, thanks for coming because we love you because humans are the earth also.
So, this is Sophie Goltz, director of Summer Academy.
Ooh,
and our curator.
Thank you.
Oh, that's not a good picture. Let's see. Don't
Okay.
look at this. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Close your eyes now. No, we should get a good picture. Don't you have any good pictures? Get a good picture on there, honey. Okay, hold on, Sophie. Oh, here. Oh, I don't have mine either. I have a headpiece on. I thought they were my glasses, but they're not. Oh, we'll just shut it. Okay.
No, it won't go.
Oh!
There we go.
Okay. Hi. Oh, no! We need a tech help.
I need my glasses. I'll find them.
Oh, there, here we go. No. Close your eyes, everyone. Hi. I'm trying. What was that? Can you get a good picture on there?
Here, I got it. He did.
There we go. Thank you. Oh. Okay, we're going to see the whole slide talk in reverse now. And then Annie broke the computer. I don't know. It was perfect. Oh, no. Okay. Do you want to start talking to distract them? Because we're just like watching all of our past underwear go by. No, honey, keep... There, that's a good picture. That's a great one. Okay.
This is our wedding.
Yes, the wedding. Okay.
But before we go into the discussion, I also would like to thank you very much, especially also the class who basically did this amazing thing here in 2 days, or I'd say 1 day and a half. So thank you very much also from our end and from my end. Thank you very much. And I thought, as we wanted to do it a little bit more informal, so I think maybe, are there any questions from the audience? So just some spontaneous kind of reactions. Oh, there's one.
Or comments or information or anything.
First of all, thank you very much for that presentation. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just was wondering, like, do you actually also involve animals in your, like, non-human animals in your practice? Because I just saw that you were also wearing leoprint, kind of. So I was wondering, like, yeah, that was my question.
Our biome clouds are having a big orgy right now. Little creatures that are all around this in this room. Yeah, they're performing with us, and in our gut. And we think about animals, of course, all the time.
Well, there's a peacock that lives in Boulder Creek who we're just so in love with, and we've known this bird for 15 years, and he just roams around the neighborhood. Everyone's in love with this bird,
Albert.
right? And he's so beautiful, and everyone feeds him, and everyone has a different name for him, and everyone. you know, we all basically are in love with this
And
bird.
feed him,
And we
take
have
him.
a fantastic dog, you know, who we're also totally in love with, right? And I just, before I came here to Austria, I was just in Oregon with a friend of mine, Karen Bolander, who has been doing a project with donkeys, living with 3 generations of donkeys now for 30 years. And at this wedding to Fire, her donkey Alias had just died, who she had had a relationship for 30 years. I mean, she had done all these art projects with Alias, and she was in such deep grief. And so, you know, we know a lot of people who are working more directly with human, non-human art projects. We don't necessarily, you know, we're more into sort of plants, I think. But we have our animal, you know, beloveds, right? And also, I grew up on a farm, so I had a lot of relationships with horses and cattle and chickens, and I really love deer. And we have these turkeys at school, and there's like Hank the turkey, and the turkeys are like, they're taking over campus, especially during COVID. It was just so amazing, right? That all these turkeys, they like ruled the university. It was just amazing. And I mean, you know, human turkeys also rule the university, but I like the turkeys better, really. So, yes.
Yeah, we know some artists that work with animals. In fact, the cuddle piece was inspired by our dog, our
Bob.
last dog, Bob. And we
our
used
dog
to have
Butch
him
is really good at cuddling, too.
So we did, the first time we did it in a gallery, we had the dog in bed with us also, so people could cuddle with the dog. So yeah, I would love to do more non-human collaboration. Yeah, I would have done a houseboat.
Humans are actually kind of non-human too.
Yeah, humans are animals. Yeah,
we're animals.
yeah, we do. I lived on a houseboat,
And
and
I'm actually really
into
serious
birds.
about that.
Yeah,
I'm laughing, but I'm serious. Yes. Yeah, Annie, go ahead.
What
I'm sorry.
do you work with animals?
No, but I'm fascinated by artists that work with animals, and I think that's also very important to like involve them. As like also creatures on Earth, and like creatures that are capable of, I don't know, like seeing art, or like, I don't know, it might be interesting or important for animals as well to like. They also have culture.
They totally have culture. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for that question. Or
yeah.
If anyone also wants to offer information or ideas or
critiques.
anything,
Oh, we have a question.
So actually, here's a question.
Here, and then
I would like
question
to
about.
introduce Angelo, bless us, because I know you know each other, but Angelo was also participating in Documenta 14 with the Eternal Brotherhood or Sisterhood. So your question.
Okay, I'm very, very much inspired by the point you gave some instructions how to make love with Earth. Can you expand more? I wanna make love with the water, or the sun. Can you give me instructions how to do it? I'm single right now, so I think this is the best mating I could do right now.
I think you already know how to do it. I do. You're being coy.
we give you permission to do it more. If you have a hot tub, do you ever put your legs up on the side and straddle the jet?
Okay.
Or when you're at the ocean, you can just kind of kneel on the beach with your little bottom facing out to the waves, and they will spank you gently.
Does anybody here not have sex with water? Okay, there you have it. We all do it.
And the sun, when the sun is penetrating your skin, and you won't even get pregnant. It's amazing.
You know, pleasure is just a few breaths away.
Exactly.
And so it's
so
really
much.
what you put into it. You can have great sex in the shower, you know, of course.
You know, ecosexuality is above and beyond all things. It's a practice of imagination. And if you can imagine various things, and we're all artists or related to the arts here, then you can just have magnificent sexual and erotic experiences with nature. You just need to
say yes.
Have an imagination and say yes.
And it is a taboo. I mean, what we're talking about,
but that's half the fun,
is taboo.
We like to fix taboos. We say we like to fix them.
We're not supposed to really take pleasure with water. That's a taboo. Like we hear it from the right wing a lot. They think we're, mentally
sinners,
ill,
to say the least.
Sinners. We get a lot of, but a lot of criticism. It's controversial, obviously, but having an erotic fantasy about water. I mean, if you let yourself go there, it could be you get really wet.
Hi.
Oh, another documenta person.
Since we started.
Marina.
I'm having being Greek, you've been in Greece and in other places, I'm having some problems with patriarchy. And how do you make love with it? Because it's almost impossible somehow.
You charge them money?
That's not making
you ask
love.
them to buy you a house? Oh gosh, that's
poor.
No one's ever asked me that.
You know what? That's a great question. And I grew up in dense, heavy, very, very patriarchal place, and my family's very patriarchal. And what I have realized is that patriarchs are like big old fat dogs. They really like to have their belly scratched. You know what I mean? I know it's kind of whatever, but I think we have to practice what we say we're doing with everyone. And that we can't, I would not scratch Donald Trump's belly. But there are other people that I feel like we can make small inroads with, because a lot of patriarchs love the earth too, right? And some of that love is because they own extraction companies or whatever. But I think there are other places where we can really connect. And so we try to... we try to honor those connections, but to not kind of give in to the sort of power trips that I think are causing all kinds of damage right now.
Do you have
any
answer?
Little inroads I think are important to make.
And
if that doesn't work, I don't know, ship them to Mars with Elon Musk. SpaceX all the way,
Do anybody have any ideas?
Arm wrestling.
That is a good question.
It's a great question.
Feminists have been wondering about that. But I think, it's complicated.
I think we also have to fight like hell politically, Just fight like hell politically and really try to, use whatever systems we can to beat them.
Well, we're trying to seduce.
They like that.
We're trying to seduce them.
Well, you can seduce and beat
because
at the same time.
I think that you can, like they say, get more with honey than vinegar, but we need it all. But
I say beat them politically.
We need people on the inside fighting patriarchy.
I was giving the nice ecosexual answer, but what I really believe.
Well, let us know if you figure it out. Any comments? Eco slut. Oh my God. It's a wedding. Dun,
yeah, they're getting married in just a little while.
Dun, 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 dun,
we always say we're polyamorous.
Look at that braid.
Beautiful.
Oh my God. Look at that. How beautiful.
We had another question in the back.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Or comment or
critique. We like critiques.
We like critiques.
Yeah, mine is actually not a question, but more like a comment or a feeling. I just want to thank you. I think it's really nice that I don't know, I think everybody here does, but me personally, I really learned something. And I think in the past, I never thought about this term, like eco-sex. It never came to me. And today, I think it just gives me a new aspects of looking at things. When I think about, I love the smell after a very strong storm, or I take a handful of rice and let it fall through my fingers, or I just ride my motorcycle and let wind, like really strong wind, breathe through my hair. And when these moments I all love, and when it happens in the future, I can think it's like I'm showing my love to the earth, and the earth is somehow loving me back in its own way. And this is just beautiful. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
You're beautiful.
I think there are more people are different. There are people with more avant-garde opinions and thinkings. There are people who are more like towards the conservative side also. But this is just beautiful, and for that I really want to thank you. I think it's really beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
So, are you going to come out as an ecosexual?
I don't know if you call it that way. I mean, I would never think about making love to water.
No pressure, no pressure.
Which is also really cool, I think, in a way. But I will definitely remember that Earth is loving me back every day in its own way.
Perfect.
And
Yes,
I'm
it.
already more than happy with that thinking
Yes,
in my
that's
mind.
enough. Yes, thank you. That's beautiful.
You're welcome.
Yes, it's very exciting. You know, if we think about it, like we have these, part of our walking tour, we have moments where people tell stories when they knew that they loved nature, when the moments they found pleasure in the non-human realms. Quite nice. Any last questions or comments? And wow, look at our beautiful winged creature here. Wow. Do you want to pass by and show us your beauty? Look at this beauty. Yay. Nature's amazing. Amazing. So beautiful. Thank you.
Yes? Oh.
I want to ask, is it more the economic thing what you to criticize? Because eco is something what is priceless in a way, so the earth doesn't cost anything, but it gets anymore to a consummation product, like the water we have to pay, we have to deal with all these destructive ways what we do with the earth, like the the mines. Or,
greenwashing.
I mean,
they
in
greenwash.
a way, atomic energy, but in a way, everybody of us cannot come out of this circle. It's only a little, It's not many people who can go out and live with Earth and have like this maybe ecosexual feeling with it, that you get really in touch with Earth. So that it's a question to you again, how you came into this ecosexual feeling. Is it something what you had inside you when you were like, you have a feeling when you were small to the Earth that it's like an inner child what is coming back to you too? Or is it something what grows because you see so many bad things in a way that you want to heal it more? Maybe it's some questions what I ask. So it's like...
When we were in Brazil, there was a group of Brazilian musicians and that walked in the room, and I just started crying because I could see they were so in touch with the earth and so connected. They were just had this magic, and I felt disconnected from the earth. So when I heard the earth could be my lover, coming from an erotic, sexual perspective, it worked for me. And I'm postmenopausal. I've had cancer. I've had sex with thousands of people. It's like time for a change, you know. And we're, pretty much monogamous as far as, body to body sex, but I want to have pleasure. Sex is everywhere. And why just limit it to this person that I love and adore when I could have, pleasure in so much more ways? And eroticize everything's my motto.
And do you combine eco-sex with physical sex?
Yeah, if we're in the hot tub. And there's
Every single
orchids hanging
minute.
over my head.
Every
Oh,
single
like,
minute we do, though. I mean, when we eat together, we're doing ecosex, right? Because we're enjoying these beautiful gifts of the earth, right? And I mean, I grew up in the country, and I worked on a farm. I mean, my family had a farm, and we had to work. In fact, I thought people only had children to work on farms. That was really what I thought, you know. But I enjoyed it. I loved it, you know. And also, when I grew up, I didn't grow up near a city. So this was also the place where my imagination really developed. And like I was saying, I had very close relationships to animals. I worked with animals, both you know, as someone who knew that animals were going to be eaten by my family, but also someone who just really enjoyed being around animals, right? And so for me, it was a very fluid thing. But I reached this point where I wanted to be an artist, and I wanted to get away, and I wanted to go to a city. And, you know, I moved to the Northeast, to Boston and New York. And I was kind of horrified that I was so country. You know what I mean? And so I was like, whoa! I will go to 40 museums in a day, and I will, you know, drop my accent, right? Which I did, because usually I had a deep Appalachian accent. And I did. I became this sort of, you know, sophisticated art student in the city, right? Which was, you know, like every other boring art student, right? I was wearing black and all this stuff. But at a certain point, right? At a certain point, I realized, man, we are trashing the earth like nobody's business, and we had better do something differently, or what's happening now is going to happen at larger and larger scales. And I don't even know. I mean, we might not be able to change the trajectory that the earth is on right now. But I still think that having some kinds of connection, and we do it through art, and we do it through conceptual art, and you know, we physically embody these things, and we teach it, and we think about it, and we live it, and we breathe it, and we, you know, we're really into it, right? That if other people could try to develop a more reciprocal relationship, it's not like, I mean, nobody in here is going to stop using electricity or stop. You know, we are so deep into extraction and exploitation and all of these things that it's going to be really hard to change that. And that's not exactly what, you know, ours are little baby steps to just try to get humans and people to think differently and engage differently, even if it doesn't, you know, stop climate change, or it doesn't produce some product that we want. You know, I don't think art has to be instrumental. I love the most conceptual, non-instrumental, abstract art the most, right? The most experimental. And so that's how I engage it.
I also want everyone to have more pleasure.
Yeah, me too.
And to feel better in our bodies. Life, it can be really hard and
it's
challenging
short.
and sad and painful, and we go through a lot. If we can have more pleasure to balance it out, I think it's a good idea just to enjoy more. And whether it's colors or the sound of the birds or whatever, let there be pleasure on earth, and let it begin with me. So I think with that, we can have a little closing ceremony. I just turned 69 years old a week or two ago, and we're going to celebrate not my birthday, but something that's 1 year older than me.
The birthday of the Salzburg Summer Academy. So,
70
we have a cake. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Summer Academy. What am I supposed to do, honey? To you. Yes. Yay. And many more.
The cake says 70. And what an incredible thing the Summer Academy has been for so many people, spreading the love, and what a beautiful environment. Do you want a speech?
Okay, well, we just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. And so now we're going to cut this into many, many small pieces, and everybody gets a little.
Please. 70. It says 70. Yes, I won't cut anything.
Yeah.
Did you get the 70 in the photo? It's a beautiful cake. We can all have a little bite. Okay. Congratulations, Salzburg Summer Academy.
Let's give a big round of applause to the Salzburg Academy. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you all.
Yeah.
So hang out, keep going.
Come see the film night Tuesday.
Go walk in the garden and enjoy. Thanks for being
Hug a tree. Okay, great. Yay. Anyone that wants cake, come on up. I'm going to move this before I break it. Honey? Can we put this over there so that we don't spill it over on the speaker maybe? Good job.